and welcome to Innovator Chat, a new series under TTG Conversations where we sit down with industry members who have turned their fortunes around amidst the pandemic. I'm Pamela Chow, and today we will be speaking with Jane Goh. She is the Director of Experience Singapore Travel and Events. The onslaught of COVID-19 has spotlighted how creative and flexible travel operators in Singapore can be. And Experience Singapore is a DMC that once specialized in international incentives and leisure groups. But now that the trade must lean on the discerning local crowd for business, Jane has secured exclusive partnerships that unlock never-before-done experiences for the mass audience. These include gin tasting in a distillery with a touch of wartime exploration and a tour of a closed-door hangar with private jets and photo ops. Today, we find out from Jane about her journey of transforming tourism content and what entices the new traveler. So Jane, why did you decide to adopt this concept of exclusive tour venue partners and how did you go about securing them?
Okay, hi Pamela.
Hello.
So what happens is if the Singapore Rediscover voucher program that was launched in December last year, most of our partners, we have actually worked with them before. And we wanted to include them in some of the tour programs, and some of them also approached us to develop the program around their facility. So we, obviously then we would request for exclusivity of their premise to do the tours. Yeah.
So it was mostly they were the ones who approached you because they were interested in
both ways.
Both ways.
Yeah,
yes.
both.
Okay.
They approached us, and we also approached new partners, new venue partners. To come up with to curate very unexplored areas of Singapore and then end up at their venues.
Can you maybe give us a quick summary of what is done during the gin tour?
Oh, okay. So what happens is we go to Labrador Park. Labrador Park is this place where there's a lot of steeped with World War II history. So we have our World War II licensed experience guides to bring you through Labrador Park. So you'll see casemates, you'll see cannons, and you understand more about the history behind how Labrador Park evolved, during the time of World War II. So a lot of people just go there maybe for a hike, but they don't really know the history behind the place. So we actually go through that, and a little bit on the outdoor part, there's this place called Long Ya Men, which is like a sculpture just at the tip of Labrador Park. So that would take about 1.5 hours. Then after that, we will hop on the bus and we'll go to the Brass Lion Gin Distillery, which is maybe about 5 minutes drive away. At the Brass Lion Distillery, then our guides will go through the process of explaining how the distillery process works, the 22 botanicals that goes into the making of the local gin, and then they get a tasting flight of the 3 signature gins of Brass Lion. So everybody loves that, of course, after a long walk at Labrador Park.
It's the highlight of the tour. Yes.
Highlight of the tour, yes.
And then for the aviation, of course, the highlight would be the hangar tour, but you do also couple it with a very interesting exploration of the Seletar area. So how did you do your research when it came to the Seletar area?
Oh, okay. So initially I cycled during the lockdown. I cycled through that area, Seletar area, and I realized there are many places that even I myself have not explored in the past. And then I was thinking, most of my friends may not have seen these same places, or they have been to this place called Oval where the restaurants are. Maybe they've been there, but they have not been to the other parts of Seletar, like maybe the former guard house, or even looking for old gooseneck lampposts, or even the former Seletar Airport. So with all these places, then I curated it to form a tour just before we head off to the private hangar. So it's like a link, and then you bring out the whole story of how Seletar Aerospace Park came together, and and now being all quiet because of the COVID situation, then that gives us more space. And it's a nice quiet place. We can even stand on the road, and there would not be any cars, but it's just a very nice area that is very unexplored, as opposed to the other places, the other usual places.
Mm.
Yeah, and transport is provided throughout, so it's perfect.
Yeah. It's like a total aviation experience, including a bit of bird watching as well.
Yes, including because there's a nature part of the aerospace park. Yeah. And of course, then the aerospace industry is a different, the different companies that are there. So we highlight to the locals, and they appreciate more that the government, had this plan to develop this area for the aerospace, but then adding some nature to it also. Yeah, but we wanted to bring them into a private hangar, so for once they could see what a hangar is inside if you're not a member. But maybe after, when travel resumes, then that chance may not be available anymore.
So it's very limited edition.
It's very.
Yeah. So, talking about international travel, that is where Experience Singapore had a strong background in. So, now that you are mostly doing domestic tours, how different are they now? What do Singaporeans like and not like in a tour?
Okay, so they with this tagline that STB came up with, that Singapore rediscovers. So we also realized that a lot of locals, from the feedback they have given us, that they have not even been to places that we bring the foreign visitors. Because first, they never had a chance. Second thing is, they never thought that there would be, areas like this. So what we do then, during our design and development, we wanted to focus on places that you can't walk in on your own, or you can't just visit on your own. It has to be either, a private exclusive tour that you can go behind the scenes. Then that is something that they can't do on their own. Right. Even now, pre-COVID, post-COVID, they would not be able to do it on their own. So then that interest, and that then they would love such experiences that they wouldn't be able to do on their own. For other tours, or on at any time of day.
Yeah. So it's the idea of getting to have something that not everybody else can have.
Yeah. Right. Not only not everybody else, but also not it's not a normal thing even for our partners. It's not something like they will do every day, or it's not something that you can just walk in and ask to see this and see that, and they just wouldn't allow, they wouldn't entertain because of their own business. So but if it's a arranged tour, and if it's an arranged group, then the local partners also would like to showcase to the locals what they have available, so they understand about the history and their business model. So it's very interesting from the local point of view. They're just overwhelmed. It's like, oh, is there such a thing in Singapore? Yeah.
So did you have to do a lot more research, you and your guides, to really find all of these nuggets of information that not a lot of Singaporeans know?
Okay, because of our, we have already some of these experiences for the foreign visitors. We just have to, tweak it a little to for the locals. So we actually introduced things like the street art, but we went further. There are 7 we have 7 different street murals in Chinatown, the Yew Chong murals, and then we curate in such a way that we end up in the tea merchant place. But where else for our international visitors, sometimes it's just the tea merchant place, and they just go there and they just leave, so they wouldn't do the walk. So we actually combine some of the elements together to come up with a tour, so that you will go on for about maybe 2 to 3 hours, and then they have this immersive experience of both something that they can't go in themselves, but something they can see themselves, but they may not know the maybe the background or about the murals and all. So that's what we did. Yeah.
Okay. So since the Singapore government rolled out this $100 Rediscover vouchers for locals to spend, how did you capitalize on this program for your marketing?
Okay, so 2 of our voucher programs, 2 of our tours were featured on live television, and also in the national papers, the Straits Times. There were 2 articles, one in December and one recently. So this has provided us a great exposure for the local market. So we are known for the foreign visitors, but locally we did not used to offer our tour programs to the locals. So with the Singapore Rediscovers voucher program, then we pivot and we gave that opportunity to the locals to go to, and when they read or they see such tours that are available from the media, the mainstream media, and also for us through our social media platforms, then they know that, oh, there's such a tour exists, there's such a company that exists that gives us, very very different kind of off the cuff experiences, like what we call it.
Right.
So, so that was good.
So with the vouchers expiring soon in June, how will you keep Singaporeans hooked on rediscovering their own home?
Okay, of course, we are looking to offer the similar tour experiences on the existing tour online platforms, and we feel that locals now, as they are more aware that there's more to Singapore than they expected, so they will probably continue to look for such tour experiences, and then they will continue to book them. But of course, we are in the midst of developing new, curating new experiences to continually engage this audience. So that will come out soon, and of course we are hoping that the borders will open soon, and with that then we welcome back the international visitors, the FITs or the MICE programs, then maybe that would be a replacement of all the SRV opportunities in the market that we were initially established. So so it would be a link, and of course we will continue to look for new experiences, continue to even if they come in, we'll also do, maybe we can do both at the same time. We'll concentrate on the overseas visitors as well as the locals, and probably the same programs, but maybe tweak it a little for the overseas market.
So when you say tweak it a little, you would mean a bit more condensed because they have shorter
time frame, or maybe half the itinerary or the other half on another day, or maybe they would require more transport. Whereas locals, they can make their own way to the meeting point at the MRT station, where else for the foreigners we need to provide the transport from this place to that place and all. And the guide all the way for the whole day, and include a lunch or dinner. That would be what we do for the other incentive programs. So in fact, from all this, we actually have new experiences, like the aviation is new, and we have already proposed that to our overseas clients, and they are excited to see a different part of Singapore. Even those who have been here before, they have done the tried and tested, they have done to the parks, they have done the ethnic areas, but they have not been to Seletar area. So this would be an additional, something that maybe they would stay a day, which I think that's what we're looking for, to have a longer stay in Singapore instead of just flying off to another city. So if they have a longer stay, then what kind of tour experience that they have not done before if they are not a first-time visitor to Singapore, or even if they are first-time visitor to Singapore.
I see.
And we're looking forward to that.
Me too. I think that would be very exciting if it does happen. Okay, thank you so much. That's all the time that we have for today. Thank you, Jane, for spending the time with us today. And to our viewers, let us know if there's an innovator you would like to see in TTG Conversations Innovators Chat. Thank you for tuning in, and have a good day.